until very recently, the United States has gotten very lucky in that we have not had a terror attack by a border crossing alien from one of those countries. It was for a long time considered a crazy conspiracy theory to even say such a thing out loud. That's fear mongering. That's a lie. There are no people coming from those countries over the border. There are no terrorists coming over the border. That's been, conventional wisdom in regular media and mainstream American political thought. That's just not true. That's scaremongering kind of stuff. But we know now that that's just simply not true. And now we have had our first terror attack, which happened just a few days before the election, where Mauritanian, I've met a lot of Mauritanians coming through on the trail. They're usually single adults of military age, young men, mostly probably trying to work here or just kind of upgrade their lifestyle. But Mauritania is in a tough neighborhood. The Sahel region of Northwest Africa, Senegalese from that region, lots of migration from that region over the southern border. And sure enough, one of them who crossed into California from Mexico in March of 2023 conducted an attack on an identifiably Jewish man in Chicago, shouting Allah Akbar, according to the press reports, and some video as he pulled a gun and fired, and a bullet hit home on this poor Jewish American man on his way to synagogue. Uh, thank God he survived, wounded, grievously wounded. And the perpetrator then turned his gun on first responders, the ambulance, the fire trucks, the police, and a 3.5 minute gun battle ensued in the streets of Chicago with this illegal immigrant until they wounded him and took him into custody. That logs the very first kinetic terror attack in the United States by an illegal border crosser, special interest alien who did not get vetted. The reporting is that he came in and they just waved him through like they wave everybody else through. They did not do the interviews, as far as we can tell at this point. This case is still sort of shrouded in opacity. We don't have a lot of the details. The American election very shortly afterwards subsumed that as a story. It really got very little media coverage. There's to this day almost nothing known about it, about him, how he got through, how they handled him, who the victim is. But they did find, authorities, the local police did find material on his cell phone that indicated social media that he was an ardent jihadist, fully indoctrinated in the ideology of hate and murder. And apparently, he was planning a martyrdom operation. He didn't think he would, probably did not think he was going to survive this, but he did. The Chicago state attorney has filed the very first state terrorism charges under their state statute against this Mauritanian, which is very odd, very unusual that there was no federal, there's no known federal involvement. The FBI normally would be all over a case like this. They probably are, but they're keeping an arm's length from it. We don't know whether he had co-conspirators, whether more are coming, whether he took direction from overseas, whether he came in, he was sent in to do something. There's a whole lot that we don't know. And if they leave this at the state level, in a liberal jurisdiction like Chicago, I highly doubt that the right questions are ever going to be asked or answered, even if there's a trial.